I'm known for my timeliness worldwide. It's one of the best things about me. I'm going to go live on the gram. We're now streaming everywhere, y'all. We're in the Tube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it. Whatever that thing is. I don't really use Twitter. Probably should. I'm not sophisticated enough, to be honest with you. All right. I'm still playing with settings if you can't tell. Still trying to make myself pretty. All right. There we go. We did it. Welcome, y'all. This is the Daily Sigh. This is the entrepreneurial Daily Sigh of relief. If you're here, it's because you want to be kept up to date. And it's the end of your day. It's 6 p.m. Eastern. I go live every single day at 6 p.m. And to the very best of my abilities, I do what I can to give you everything that matters in the world across business, AI, markets, platforms, and policy. So you don't have to. And I also bring some of the smartest people I know to the table to help do that. If we haven't met, my name is Qasim. And I help entrepreneurs who already have a real business but want clear steps, better tools, and smarter ways to grow in a post-AI world. And I'd love for you to join me, by the way. If you want to come hang out with us live on the Zoom, go to dailysigh.ai. Just click that join live link. It'll take you to my free forever community. And you'll find the Zoom link inside of the calendar. If you just want all of this awesome information summarized for you, you can sign up at dailysigh.ai. I'll send you a daily or a weekly newsletter. It's entirely up to you. And make sure to check our calendar for amazing guests. Today, we are welcoming the one and only Tommy Mello. Built $1 billion trades brand. He's going to be here in about a half hour. We also have Greg Smith coming, I believe, on April 22nd. M&A guru who's bought and sold 30 or 40 banks, Sun Country Airlines twice, created one of the largest fleets of vehicles in the United States. And we've had some awesome guests already show up, including our one and only Grant Fullenbach, who's brilliant and amazing. And let me dive into some of what's going on. Council, I'll ask you to keep me honest. If there's anything that I'm not saying that I should be saying, let me know. Our first story comes from the rundown. Meta on track to dethrone Google in digital ads. This hurts my heart, my soul, my mind, and my mouth to say. For the first time in 14 years, the king of digital advertising is changing. Meta is projected to reach $243.5 billion in ad revenue this year, surpassing Google's $239.5. It blows my mind, and it also kind of makes sense. We're in a traffic bubble. Meta has a little bit more margin and room to play than Google does. This shift proves that AI-driven discovery through tools like Advantage Plus and short-form video is now more valuable to ad budgets than traditional internet-based search. Ouch. The search era is being replaced by the algorithm era. Success for entrepreneurs now depends on feeding the right signals to social AI models rather than just winning a keyword auction. What I'd love to see, to be honest with you, is Meta get outpaced by all the AI tools, which is why I'm investing heavily in AEO. If you want to learn more about AEO, I have a free forever community. Go to aeo.co. From National Today, the asteroid hits Wall Street. Private credit stocks plummet over 30%. An entire financial sector just got repriced in real time. Private credit firms, a primary source of funding for many mid-sized businesses, saw 30% wiped in value because AI is now objectively better at credit analysis than their human teams. Hashtag shocker. Dylan yesterday said something that needed more attention and we moved on from it. We were talking about private equity investing and how as private equity firms suffer, they're going to start making irrational decisions. And Dylan was like, well, how long will private equity investments be made by people? Which I think was a valid question. Maybe we touch on today. If your business relies on traditional lending, your path to capital is moving. By the way, if you haven't looked at the SBA, do so. People that I know are minting money in the SBA world. And the terms are super friendly, to be honest with you. From Smart Chunks, Webflow drops native AEO platforms for ChatGPT and Claude. Answer engine optimization just moved from a maybe to a native platform feature. Webflow's new tool allows for real-time citation analytics and automated agents that push SEO changes directly to your site. I will believe that shit when I see it. The problem with this is it's an issue of consolidation. If everybody has the same tools in an environment that's trying to establish a hierarchy, then the hierarchy moves to making those tools commodities. They're effectively table stakes. So it's kind of a, I think it's a it's a flawed approach, flawed thesis, let's say. The deeper pattern says the zero click web is here, and we believe that platforms are evolving to ensure their users' content is the source for truth for AI agents. I don't know if anybody here uses Webflow. I'd be interested in your opinion on whether or not this could possibly work. Some business line, Anthropic models designed to replace IT service roles. Anthropic's new Mythos model targets white-collar service roles specifically. This isn't just about code. It's about the management and maintenance of systems. Entrepreneurs running service businesses must pivot to AI plus human model immediately or risk being underpriced by competitors using these native automation layers. Some backup stories from Asia Times. The timeline for quantum threats just shrank. New research suggests quantum computers can break current encryption much faster than anticipated. If you handle sensitive data, quantum resistant encryption is now a 2026 priority, not a 2031. That's scary. I'm curious from the council, does crypto survive quantum? I'd love to know what y'all think. I've heard smart people say, I've heard smart people land on both sides of that argument. CIO.com, 40% of AI gains lost to rework. What? A study shows nearly half of productivity gains from AI are currently lost to fixing errors. Interesting. The winners won't be those who automate most, but those are the best human and loop quality control systems. I don't believe that for a minute. CIO is obviously selling something. And the rest of these stories suck. I'm going to open it up to the council. Let's unmute. Go live. If you're watching this live on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or LinkedIn, feel free to come join us. Just go to dailysigh.ai, join the free forever community, and come hang out with us on the live Zoom room. We have the one, the only, the illustrious Tommy Mello coming in 20 some odd minutes. And I'm going to ask everybody to be hyper respectful and attentive of his time. To repeat some of the rules, you're not allowed to shoot your shot. Leave Tommy alone. Don't try to follow up and make him your best friend. If we do that, we lose valuable guests. And I know y'all don't need to be told that. The problem is that some people do, though. You know, there's always just one bad apple in the bunch. It's probably Fa and Yusuf. I'm surprised they're here. I thought that the property value just went down horribly. This was actually a really respectable Zoom room, and then you guys joined. And now I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I love both of you. Just so y'all know, Fa and Yusuf are two of my favorite humans in the whole wide world. They worked for me for how long? How long did y'all work at Solutions 8? Too long.
I think I lasted only 2 years.
Yeah, but Fa was there before you, right? And then he has some pictures of me that he used to blackmail me into hiring you.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me digging YouTube.
Fa was one of our top strategists, if not the top strategist, who's to say? He worshipped at the altar of John Moran. I remember interviewing him, and he was sweating bullets, dude. It was so funny. I've never seen anybody so afraid in my entire life. It was hysterical. We hired him right away. That's how desperate we were, and he was amazing, man. Fa, you were extraordinary the whole time. I was really grateful to have you on the team, and yeah. And then he brought Yusuf in. Yusuf has a really interesting career, dude. You were in the Turkish film industry for 30 some odd years, right? Or 50 years or 90 years. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm eternal.
But no, jokes aside, you had some really, like, you worked on Tarantino films.
Yeah, I was on a first name basis with Harvey Weinstein, if you can believe that. So we were Turkish distributors of Miramax before Weinstein sold it to Disney, and then we also distributed Weinstein's movies, which basically is the company that made Tarantino who Tarantino is. And then afterwards, Netflix and streaming came along. That business went bust, so I moved along, and I've been going coast to coast, and I don't know where I'm at the moment. Having a bit of a midlife crisis, I'd say.
Oh, bro, join the club. You got to grow your hair out. That's step number one. You got to start wearing linen. I've got this thing cracked, dude. I have a whole framework coming out on how to midlife crisis. I'm right now. I'm crushing it.
That cardigan. Does that fit?
Yeah, that's great. That looks very comfortable. Yeah, how's that little baby?
Ain't no little anymore. She's like, what, almost 40 pounds despite being a preemie at 2.5. She's wearing 4.8 or something. I don't know. She's huge. Her mom
Yeah.
takes good care of her, and she's a bane of my existence. And also, the best thing happened to me, but I don't know. I guess that's kids for you. I
Yeah.
had
I
to
love
move
that, man.
cities and move to a larger house just to be able to work.
Yeah. Good for you. Well, I'm gonna come out and visit y'all someday. I promise.
I've been hearing that. I've been hearing
I'm
that for a
coming.
long
I'm
time.
coming to Turkey. I
Yeah,
need
sure.
yeah. These guys, fun fact, run Tommy's traffic. And so they're here, I imagine, to bask in the glory of your laurels. Uh,
No, the funny thing is I've only seen Tommy once, and funny story, he was in his bedroom dressing up, putting on socks, and then he took a ride in his van, and I'm like, I need to see more of this glorious person. Like I'm really thinking well with these kind of like non-conventional business people. So I just wanted to get a glimpse of him because I got more of this, like, enough of you, man, to be honest with
yeah,
you.
no, I don't blame you. That's, dude, it's a flex. I've always noticed, the most important person on the Zoom call is the one with the most like disruptive context and background. I did a podcast interview with Neil Patel, and all of us are like in our studios with our mics and our soundproof wall. And this jackass calls in from his phone. His kids are running around. He could not care less. He was worth $100 million. He's doing us a favor. Like nobody could hear him. He wasn't paying attention. He's also not holding the phone in a way that was constructive at all. Like half the time it's just down in his lap and we're looking up his nostrils. But and everything he said was triple PhD brilliant. He blew all of our minds and provided a ton of value. So you get to a point to where you can really show up in your pajamas or naked and it just doesn't matter. My big fear right now is Tommy doesn't show up at all. That he's like, oh, I found a better, because I've made all these promises now. So we're going to find out. We've got 18 minutes. I've got a list of questions from the council. Really good ones, by the way. Shout out to Jacob for putting on some mother hen and making us get organized, and then Clinton for bringing some of the better questions to the table. Um, we want to get a lot of value out of this. You showed up live for a reason. This guy's, y'all, he's built $1 billion business. I cannot even begin to wrap my head around that. Like what an extraordinary feat. And he did it from nothing. I mean, there's people that, Gary Vee always, he cracks me up because his came from nothing story. Like when you hear it, you're like, wait a minute, dude, you took your dad's $3 million business and you grew it to 100 million. And that's not nothing. But 0 to 3 is harder than 3 to 100. So shut up. Like with your stupid hustler culture bullshit. You don't understand zero. And Tommy understands zero, which I really love a lot. So while we're waiting for him, I'm going to paste the link to the private WhatsApp community in chat. If you're watching this live, we actually have a private community where we all talk about stuff that y'all don't get to see. And it, incidentally, is epic. And there's all this value being dropped and people building things and creating things and sharing things. If you're on the Zoom, feel free to join it. Would love to see you there. And if you're watching this live, you can always come join us. Just go to dailysigh.ai, join the free forever community, and come hang out with us live. So, council, what do we want to talk about till Tommy gets here? Who's got what? Who's got something of epic value?
The new release, I think it was Elliot, talked about the Claude thing. I started that video earlier. That seems pretty valuable. It's actually funny. I was going through an N8N certification for like 4 hours this morning, beating my head against the computer screen because it was not very well put together and it just wasn't working. And then I got through it and I was just like so excited. I'm like, okay, this is done. And then I see that message and I'm like, oh wow, all of that was just for a complete waste. That's nice.
That's
So.
so funny. It wasn't a complete waste. You learned, right? Like you took some context
I
away.
I don't think I learned. I think I just because I already knew it. It was just a matter of going through it to get that certificate. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was no, it was Grant. I'm sorry, Grant, it was you that said that. I watched like a few minutes of that video and then I got busy again. But I know he released it, and then Nate Herc also released a video on that too. So it seems like a pretty big drop right now. It's basically going to replace or compete with N8N, which is a huge automation. So.
Yeah. Well, Grant, you just unmuted.
I think it's going to be huge. I think it's a really smart play for Anthropic because every tool that has an open API is hustling to become like MCP compliant.
Mm.
And so that's just going to open up like all the groundswell that Zapier built for the last decade. It's now just going to live inside of Claude. And now you can use Claude to basically, well, hopefully run all of your automations in the same way that you can with N8N and Zaps and Make.
Doesn't this feel a little like Zapier is the blockbuster to everybody else's Netflix? Like, how did they miss this boat? Even being late, they had all this context, all these connections, all these customers. Like, how do you not play a little catch up and start? I just do not understand how they screwed up so bad. It's been years now where I feel like they've made zero progress. I don't know. Does anybody disagree or have more context or insight than that?
I agree, but I think it's even worse. I think a lot of these companies are going to go by the wayside because of exactly what Anthropic's doing right now.
Yeah.
Make Zapier, even N8N, who was all the rave 6 months, a year ago.
Mm.
Like they're just the value is just getting pulled from that layer, that middle layer, from the foundational LLMs, and it's happening all over the place. And it's probably going to continue to happen. I'd be super nervous if I was any of these companies that sit in the middle. Clay, anybody.
Yeah. What a good point. I've been saying for a while, from a service perspective, you don't want to be in the middle of the assembly line. You want to be, if you're at the beginning of the assembly line, which is customer acquisition, really, then you're safe-ish. And if you're at the end, which is you're actually delivering an end result, then you're safe-ish for now. But everybody in the middle, that's the part that's being commoditized and eaten. And I think the point you're making, Wayne, about software is even more poignant. There was Brandon posted, did y'all watch that video that Brandon posted from that guy? Was it Eric Weinstein? That thing was, yeah, that's absolutely worth watching. I'll repost it here in the chat. I didn't watch it until after our call wrapped yesterday, but I mean, that was sobering. And then there was another one. I think, Clinton, you posted it. Who's that from? It was a Google guy, wasn't it?
You got to refresh my memory.
Yeah, I know I'm not being very helpful, am I? I think it was like head of Google AI, basically talking about how everybody's on notice. I'm gonna go track it down and I'll post that in chat too. But the thing that I liked about the thing that Brandon shared was, to be honest with you, it just reinforces my worldview. It's not specialization. The Eric said, get really good at operating in multiple forums, basically. Like, because the people that can synthesize in that way, I think, are still not just going to be safe. I think they're vital. I think they're necessary. But if you operate in one airlock, there's no anti-fragility to your functionality in the economic forum. But if you cross-pollinate anywhere, then there's a lot. Actually, FA and Yusuf are really good examples of this. They're media buyers. A lot of media buyers choose, like, I just live inside of the Facebook dashboard, or I just live inside of the Google dashboard. All of them are gone. But the ones that have expanded out post-click with the creative, customer acquisition, like looking at things from a broader perspective, they're actually, I think, more necessary now than ever. So I don't know, FA, Yusuf, let's plug your agency. Who are you? If somebody wants to work with you, how do they do that?
They reach out to you and you send us our way. I don't know.
Just be a marketer, dude.
I know that's the
What's your
worst
website?
part. I'm really good at selling my clients stuff, except myself. I'm really good at digital marketers, but we suck at marketing ourselves. We don't do any cold outreach. We don't do any sort of content creation. I guess we're basically waiting to die off, like old grumpy men in porches. I don't know. So basically, FA and I think I don't even know we can be called agency. Like, what are we? Like, we're just two men.
We're like strategists.
I
two
guess
sexy,
so. We're trying
sexy
to
Turkish strategists.
We're two kebabs, like basically it.
Two
One
kebabs.
spicy, one spicy, one regular.
That's so funny.
I think we're trying to basically imitate John, which we learned a lot from, which basically taught us during the time at Solutions. They just kind of like, if you get tunnel vision and stuck looking at the dashboards, you're gonna miss the whole picture. And we're trying to do a fractional CMO stuff all along, and I think we've been managing well so far. And our agency, thanks to FA, who's the name father or whatever Privita. I can't even say my agency's name. So we try to, just like we do with Tommy, we try to look at everything, not just, whatever Facebook tells us. Again, usually BS, and same with Google. Try to take a look at from landing pages to the creatives to the, profit margins, or how even seasonality or whatever the customers are feeling. And so far, we've been lucky enough to have an amazing retention rate. I think like we're at 90% or something. Most of our clients stay with us for more than 2 years. Of course, we lose some, but I think that's also kind of like comes down to us because most of our clients are referrals from amazing people like you, which we also have to play honest. Like if we don't feel like we're a good fit, we just say we're not good fit, or we don't believe we can do much for you.
That was the worst
Yeah.
sales pitch
Oh,
I've
you
ever
plug
heard
it,
in my life.
dude. I'm
Yeah.
my
By the way,
again, like,
I just dropped the website for FA and
no,
Yusuf, who
my
do not
sales
want customers.
pitches. No, I don't. It's not like I'm not a BSer. Like, dude, I my whole entire life is built on honesty to my own detriment. Again, I suck at marketing. If I believe I can do something for you, I'll be honest with you. If I can't, I'll just say, you know what, sucks. I'm gonna lose money, but I can't do something for you because I'd much rather be your friend rather than someone who takes your money and you come back to customer and say, those guys you referred, they suck. That's
Yeah.
Like, if you guys,
Someone's got to say the company name though, because I have no
Yeah,
idea.
somebody has to say a name. Thank you,
again,
Wayne.
see, what
Yeah.
I told you, it's Privita, and I can't even pronounce it. Like, I mean, how do you spell it? Privita. Like, that's what sort of a name is that? I don't know. Like, we should come up with a catchier name. Maybe Soulline is.
Now's the time to have that conversation. Actually, this is a good opportunity for you.
I'm not gonna change the name. Like, let's be
That's so
honest.
funny.
Let's be honest. Like, everybody asks, like, what is the meaning? And between us, it has no meaning. Like, it just 5 years ago, I thought, let me check all the luxury brands and take the cool letters like Prada, right? PR, Louis Vuitton. Like, there are like a couple of great letters. So I just put all the good letters and private. Like, everybody thinks private, private.
See what I mean?
Vita
See what
means
I
life
mean?
in Italian. It has no meaning. It
We
does not do any meaning.
suck. We
Just
suck
like
at this.
life.
No, FA. Remember how
And like,
you
when I first
came to
found
the
it, by the way, like, we're Turkish. When I first found it, like, it's easy to pronounce it in Turkish. Like, it's Priv Vita. But when you guys like Privita, it's not
You
Privita.
see,
It's Priv
just
Vita.
so you guys know, 2kebabs.com is available. Dylan just went. So that's a way better brand, dude. And after this call, I actually think you're going to
I'm
get some
sold.
traffic.
I'm
Yeah.
sold.
As you guys can
By the
see,
way,
like, we have no idea about marketing. We couldn't market ourselves. We have no idea about
no, we have
branding.
ideas about marketing, just not ourselves. Like, I'll correction. But just
Bro, can I hop on a soapbox real quick for you guys? And this is true for everybody on this call. This is something that I'm good at, and it's a one of the, let's say, ingredients in my success formula. I got really comfortable really early with self-edification, and most people are not that. Most people have a horrible imposter syndrome, and it's not that I don't. I just hurdle it in whatever way, and they have a hard time with the elevator pitch. So if I'm Brandon Mushlin, I might hop in a call and be like, hey, y'all, my name's Brandon. At the risk of sounding obnoxious, I might be one of the smartest guys in the SEO space. I've been in the space for this many years. I've worked with this many clients. Name drop, name drop, name drop. I hope I haven't offended you, but if you're interested, please go to brandonmushlin.com and you can learn more. Bam. And what's funny is once you've done that, once you've said, hey, just so you know, my name's Kasim. I've built 6 multi-million-dollar agencies. I've had 3 successful exits, 1 for 8 figures. I built the #1 ranked Google Ads agency in the world. I've had the highest performing real estate investment campaign in the United States for 7 years. I built the largest English-speaking Montessori school, Montessori community. I have one of the top marketing masterminds. I'm not trying to sound obnoxious, but I just want you to know you're not wasting your time. So that's enough about me. And now it's like, oh, this guy's not a dipshit. So what you guys should be doing is coming to this call, and you should be saying, I was the lead strategist at the top Google Ads agency on the planet. I worked with some of the largest clients that they had. I managed this much money in ad spend, and then now everybody's like, oh, these guys are absolute killers. And Tommy's here, y'all. Now we all have to be quiet and respectful and attentive. I'm so excited. Is anybody else nervous?
especially me and FA.
Yeah, especially Yusuf and Efe. Y'all, you have a lot to lose here. You better not screw up. You realize, yeah. I mean, it's only down for you, right? Like, it's only downside.
It's thankfully the metrics are amazing, so we're safe for now.
Yeah. Tommy
What up?
Mello, the man. How are you, brother?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Good. I'm so grateful that you're here, dude. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, excited to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
So we've got kind of a dual stream going on. We're streaming live into the ether webs that is social. So you're on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn and X. And then internally on the Zoom, you've got what I have affectionately termed as the council. And this is a group of folks that have gotten together every day for I don't know how long now, y'all. And we just talk about how to survive a post-AI world. Your name came up. I think it was Jacob, who's on the call here with us. And he was talking about you like you're some sort of sage, dude. I just want you to know that you're spoken of very highly. And then I do what I do best. And I was like, well, I know Tommy. And I was obnoxiously name dropping. And that's when I messaged you and said, hey, dude, would you please? And so, y'all, we have a limited time with Tommy. I'd like to be hyper respectful of his time. Tommy, we have some questions that we've pre-arranged and crowdsourced. And then with your permission, maybe I'd open it up to the council after we tackle some of those and we can just play rapid fire. What's your comfort zone there?
All day, anything, brother. Anything for you.
I love it, man. Well, I want to tell my Tommy Mello story first. I was talking to somebody about you, a mutual friend. And I was, again, just name dropping because that's how I live my life. And I was like, I knew Tommy before he was a big deal. And this person was like, really? Tell me about that. And I was telling him about you and I hanging out at the design center and, getting drunk at Alex's open bar. And he's like, no, that Tommy was already a big deal. You just didn't know it. And for whatever it's worth, at the risk of pandering, I thought that was really cool. Like, you were never pretentious. I didn't know that you were the Tommy Mello. I just thought you were this guy that I got to hang out with when I went to my dad's rug store and needed to kill time. And so for whatever it's worth, dude, that felt like that felt like a noted compliment. You can throw your weight around and it doesn't seem like you ever do. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, well, just so you know, when I met Saeed, very proper guy, very, very good. I mean, I'll tell you, when I met him, he was the nicest guy on the planet. He just laughed, smiled, eye contact, and he said, let's go out to dinner. And I remember bringing this yellow notepad, and he taught me just how to do affiliate marketing. He goes, I make all my money through designers, and I treat them like gold, Tommy, and I pay them what I call a marketing fee, but they might charge 20,000 more than I charge them. I don't get in the middle of that, but he goes, there's a few rules. Number one, he goes, I work with very affluent clients. So I roll out the red carpet and I put white gloves on and we take care of them. And he goes, we do not mess up. He's like, we make it right. And they expect premium service. They're prima donnas. And he says, there's one rule for you that you need to know that I made a mess of in the beginning is if I have an affiliate deal, the day that money's collected, the day that money comes in, the day I'm cutting the check. He goes, I don't slow pay. I don't make anybody wait. I give back whatever money I collect back to the designers. And that's how he made, what he did, all these shot rugs, is because he just was so good at dealing with the affluent. And, I respect Alex Hormozi. I don't know him well. I've texted him a bunch of times, but, what he says is, why not market to the affluent like Dan Kennedy? Why not have a higher tier of client? For me, I have all tiers of clients. But I'll tell you this, there are certain houses we walk away from $100,000. And if I could start stacking those, I've learned you could only prioritize really at a few things at once, 5 max. And I haven't made it to where I've focused just on the affluent because that's relationships and that's harder to scale, especially when you're in 24 states, 44 markets. So, but let's get some questions going, brother.
So the first question I have for you is, how are you preparing your business for AI?
Yeah, so look, I think everybody knows if you listen to NVIDIA Jensen, he said, if I were you, I'd try to be a plumber. It's not going away in the next 5 to 10 years. So I feel like, look, there's a lot of things we're doing internally. Actually, a guy was just in my house for 2 days. He's leaving later today. He came from Service Titan, and he is 10 years at Service Titan. He understands everything that could be done AI, like capacity planning. There's a lot of roles that are duplicate roles, like anything data entry. Think accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, HR. There's a lot of things, but I'm not diving into AI trying to get rid of jobs and like running. A lot of people are doing it out of scarcity, and I think it's a mistake. It's kind of like the way I talk about it is 20 years ago when Verizon and all the major players went to India to go have their call center. What happened? They brought it back in-house because it wasn't a good customer service. Right now, we've got AI agents. They're booking at 85%. Our real agents are booking at 92%. We're using it as overflow. They're still booking a lot of calls. But what I think is I'll be doing a hiring freeze on a lot of roles. So I'm looking at the guys in the field compared to all the support staff, which is me, our COO, our CFO, our warehouse guys, our CSRs, our dispatchers, our payroll controller, all those roles, FP&A. And right now we're at a 2.5 to 1. I believe by the end of the year, we'll be at a 4 to 1. And I believe next year I'll be able to get to about an 8 to 1 because of automation and AI, which are two different things. But, you know, this business is still going to be shaking hands, smiling, and dealing with clients. And we're going to fix stuff. And AI robots are not going to start fixing garage doors. That wouldn't be a good use of training the robots in the beginning. It's just, there's other things to solve, like surgery, working on a heart. You know, build those things to do the really hard things that need to be exact before you'd have them fixing a garbage disposal. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a good segue for our next question is what other industries, garage doors feel safer than some. What other industries do you think are viable if you had to list, let's say, top 5?
Well, all of home service is great. And looking at the business, right now we coach 400 different home service companies. And I could tell you that if I had to go back in time, I'd look at how do you build the largest enterprise value? Enterprise value is based on multiple of EBITDA in the home service, home improvement space. So I want to go after big tickets, high demand. If your HVAC goes out, it's 120 degrees, you're calling. If your hot water heater goes out, if your garage door, your car's stuck. I'm not looking at industries as much like are of something I don't need to do if we go through a recession, like garage flooring or windows. Great tickets in windows, lots of cool stuff. I'm not replacing my front door if I'm barely putting food on the table. So when I think about home service, home improvement, my categories, I like things that are like, I need to fix this. Might not replace it today, but I need to get this done. So that's how you look at the home services, and those are the ones I'd be paying attention to. Other services, I mean, long-term AI, real estate, everything seems to fall if you really think about it. I mean, I had a conversation with the founder of Service Titan, and it's pretty doom and gloom for a lot of things. But I'm more of an optimist about it. I think we're running at it, but I think there's more problems than people think. It's harder to implement these things than people think. You know, Elon Musk thinks within the next 5 to 7 years, there'll be 10 to 1 robots to humans. Maybe. But then again, I think he had high hopes for Tesla. And by the way, I'm an investor in Tesla. But I don't have a doom and gloom view at it. I do think you got to be able to work with it for a while. I think eventually once SGI comes out and the crazy stuff that's happening, 3 to 5 years, it's going to be pretty interesting. And I'm trying to think about investments I could make that won't get buried. And a lot of them, you think about data centers. You think about how do you get involved. I was just talking to a guy that works with mega high wealth family offices, and he said, we got to invest in SpaceX. I think SpaceX, anything to do with space is a good investment. We're going to probably build a compound on the moon, start taking minerals from there. So I don't necessarily know what's AI proof because right now the government could already hack Bitcoin. I mean, that's a fact. So supercomputers could hack bank accounts. I mean, I think warfare in the future will be fought more like shutting down electricity and shutting down the grids and stuff like that. So I'm building my house a little bit like protected, like generators and a lot of other things to make sure, hope for the best, plan for the worst.
What would you tell your kids as they're, growing up in this difficult to anticipate environment and future? What are the things that you feel are anti-fragile from a skill set perspective or an education perspective?
Yeah, so I'm probably going to start having kids next year. I'm getting married January 1st. So,
Nice. Congrats, man.
It's scary. I'm excited, but it's scary because I think I want to teach them to just be resilient, number one. Number two is the human connection. If I'm an AI, machine, I never felt what an orgasm or happiness feels like or anything really. Like they're going to want to combine with us some way or another. I think you're going to have to figure out a way to go silicon. I mean, that's what Robert Cialdini, I was with him a couple of weeks ago chatting about this for about an hour. How quick it'll happen, I don't know. But if you think about survival of the fittest, like Darwinism, it just makes sense. Like human beings make stupid, irrational decisions. Like we know it's detrimental to get on Facebook all day or do drugs or drink alcohol, but we still do it. So I don't know all the answers. I believe in Jesus. So I think I'm going to heaven. I don't have all these answers, but I would tell my kids to be really, really good at building relationships. I think breaking them off into homeschool seems smart, but also having them being able to talk in front of people, tell a great story, and have that human connection. I think human connection is going to be far more important. All the major VCs, like if you look at, there's a few of them I've talked to. One of them just invested in the 49ers. They believe that these gatherings, Morgan Wallen concerts, football games, I was just at the Masters this week, and I think it's going to be more like those things become ultra expensive because people are going to want human connection. It's going to be harder to get. It's going to be more expensive, and those investments are going to do well. But human connection, like I don't want my kids just baking in front of an iPad all day. Like we're going to go play. We're going to go fishing. We're going to read real books, and I'm going to really limit the screen time.
Why do you do this? I've noticed that you produce a lot of content. You've written some books that are very well reviewed and well received. A lot of people follow you. And it occurs to me that it doesn't feel like your highest and best use from a profitability perspective. Like you're on a call right now with, 20 some odd people. You coach, you teach, you speak. You have $1 billion company. Like why invest your time in this way? What do you get out of it?
I think that your network is your net worth. And I believe that every time I get on a stage, most of the time I wear this shirt. And well, let me just read you something that I think is pretty important. But human connection to me is super important in giving back. And by the way, I don't make any money when I speak. Even if I charge 30 grand, I lose a couple $100,000 every time I leave. It's not, it's for me. And I'm also very curious. I'm still learning. The higher I build my, I guess my personal brand, people come to me and they're like, I got this new tool. I got this new thing. I got this company you should buy. It's a garage door company I found for you. I got this amazing employee that you should hire. So breaking news, PayPal is hiring a CEO of content. Here's what you need to know. The job pays over $200,000 a year. The mission is visible. Make sure the CEO is visible and consistently posting. This is not about getting likes. It's about building trust with investors, inspiring employees, and keeping PayPal top of mind against competitors like Apple Pay and Google Pay. PayPal is proving that in the new era, the personal brand of the leader is as important as the brand of the company itself. Here's the key takeaways. Visibility is no longer a nice to have for leaders. It is part of the business strategy. If your audience cannot see you, they will forget that you exist. If they see you enough with the right message, you will shape how they think before you ever speak to them. The difference between a CEO who shows up online and who does not can be millions in talent attraction, customer trust, and deal flow. Plus, I do me. I mean, listen, as a visionary, I've got a great team that I don't even have to show up to work, but I do because I owe them the loyalty to be here. I'm earning my loyalty every day. Forget about last week, last month, last year. I got to come in and show them that I care, and I got to be here for them. But I'm also the one that's got to build a plan for a lot of them have equity, a lot of them. And after this next deal, a ton of people, actually every single employee will probably have equity. And if I'm not painting the vision, if I'm not out there searching and looking for the answers and building a plan to continue to grow enterprise value and enjoy the journey while you're doing it, I don't ever get upset like I got to go to work. I do whatever I want. I'm doing this today because I enjoy this stuff. So my plan is like, look, I'm talking to Cody Sperber earlier, and he's like, dude, I cannot wait to sell Floor Daddy and just be with my best friends and say we did it. And I go, dude, you're wrong. Then a guy like us, we're hunters. We're going to go, what's next? Yeah. We're going to get bored. We're going to say, if you don't enjoy the journey and the process and you're, man, I worked 12 hours today. People brag that they work. There's 168 hours in a week. I like to say, man, I enjoyed this week, man. I look back and I had a great time. I enjoyed the process. The idea of how it worked you, like my priority is 8 hours sleep now. Like I don't brag like, dude, I got 5 hours sleep. I don't need as much sleep. That's cool. Okay, not really at all. Like I want to take care of myself because I want to be around for a while. Without physical fitness and being in shape and being healthy, you have nothing. I think Steve Jobs said you'll be taking your food as your medicine is food. And that's real. So I make sure today we went for a long walk in the morning. I just got done working out. I did a cold plunge. I don't do cold plunge every day, but like I want to be excited to be alive. I want like my chemical balances to be right. And it's the journey, man. That's what it is. I mean, you had an exit and you're now look at what you're doing. You got to keep yourself busy and you say, great, made some money. Now what? So yeah. I'm still locked into this thing. I still own 50%. I think we're probably worth right now right around 2.2 billion. And I'm going to roll a significant amount to the next deal because everyone asked me, we went to Pinnacle. That's a trip for like all the badass MFers in the company. There was 92 of us there. They said, what's your plan? I'm like, you're not getting rid of me unless I get fired. So I'm going to be around. I'm going to be around for a long time. I mean, this is my baby. I'll never be the CEO of another company again.
I'm going to start to get intrusive. Back me off if I ask questions you don't answer. How did you pull that off, dude? You own 50%. I know you took private equity. How did they allow that? Because don't they normally require or at least negotiate really hard for a majority? Like, how did you retain that much?
Yeah, so I own more than they do, but they have controlling rights.
Okay, interesting. So, in what ways does that inhibit you? Have you run up against that wall yet to where they get to call the
No,
shot?
no.
Or
I mean, listen, I went to them to learn from them. You know, Ken Goodrich with Ghetto called me up and said, dude, when you learn what they know, how they raise capital, how they use debt, how they get cash on cash returns, how they negotiate deals, he goes, you know so much about your trade, but you don't understand the other half of what they know. When you understand what
Mm,
Blackstone and KKR and Apollo and all these private equity companies know, you're going to be invincible. And so they come over to my house and I learn from them and they've helped me. Like, dude, I didn't know how to build I didn't know how to have a great meeting each month for 4 hours and go through and just be able to find a needle in a haystack of what's wrong with the business. And so they've just guided me. And I'm curious. And the big question was, will a guy like Tommy, who's very entrepreneurial, be able to get along with a team like that? And they don't tell me what to do. They ask me great questions that invoke thought. And, you know, mathematically, I got to be able to back it up and explain things. And so now I'm a much stronger leader. And there's no doubt in my mind, I think we're the best home service company. I mean, if you saw our financials and what we're doing, there's nothing else like it. And the only thing you can compare it to, the growth is Meta. I mean, that's what the bankers say. And the idea is, you know, how much do I want to do in the next deal? There's a lot of options, but there's no doubt in my mind we'll go 5X it again. I mean, we own less than
mm,
2% of the total addressable market. So we're just getting started. I say we're in the first inning. I mean, I've been doing this 20 years. The first 10 were practice, but now I'm having a lot of fun.
and you
And I
started
truly mean
what?
that. You talk to a lot of people, dude, and they give you this bullshit answer, and you go to their house and they're in ruins. Their relationships suck. They haven't talked to their parents. Their kids hate them. But in a video call, you'll see this picture of them that's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's all a facade. Like, I could truly tell you, like, I'm enjoying my life. My parents are healthy. I just shot pool with my dad. I kicked his ass 3-1. We were doing a race to 3 in pool in 8 ball. But you know, I hear these lies and you hear this success story. There, Jim Carrey once said, I hope everybody's rich and famous so they'll understand that's not the answer. And when they say
Mm,
more money, more problems, I crept up. I didn't just come Bitcoin one day and all of a sudden this money showed up. So I was prepared. And one thing I've kind of chanted is hang out with people you have a common future versus a common past.
mm,
And I think that that's important because a lot of people don't understand me, but I get in the right rooms and they all do. And we're
mm.
hunters, we're drivers. And I still love the people I grew up with. But things have changed a lot and I enjoy what I do. And my schedule's super busy. But I got on there, read a book, call mom. Like, I got everything on my schedule. I control my schedule. I got a great executive assistant. And you know, it won't always be like that. I've done the hard work to be able to spend more time with kids and hang out with mom and dad and go fishing. So I'm designing my life. I'm 43. I'm designing my life at 45, which is a lot of really important things because sometimes I got to take a deep breath and say, am I really excited? When the phone rings, do I get really excited? There are some cousins I hang out with that my stomach hurts the next day because I laugh so hard. Like,
Yeah.
I just get so excited. I have the time of my life and we're building memories. We're building this great house in Idaho and we've got a ranch out there and all that. We just ordered mini cows and it's not about me. It's not about like, look what we built. It's about let's go build memories, man. Let's go enjoy this. Like, there's this picture of this dog running in the beach and it goes, come on, guys. Come on, we gotta live. We only have one chance. Let's enjoy this. And that's just I watch that video all the time. It gets me pumped up, man.
What is a mini cow?
It's like a baby cow. Bree wanted them. We got like 12 mini cows. It's called a Highlander, and they're little pets. I mean, you don't butcher them or anything, but the cows live to be like 30 years old. So we're gonna have these things for a while.
That's cool.
So we got
Uh,
chickens, goats, mini cows, horses. I mean, we got regular cows. I mean, it's awesome.
Before you got on the call, I was talking shit about Gary Vee, who I actually really like and respect, but I dislike some of his narrative because he went from 3 million to 100 million, and I think 0 to 3 is the hardest, and he sort of ignores that little leap, that little point of data, you went from negative 50 grand is what I read. You were 50 grand in debt when you started. Can you either validate or challenge what I just said? Do you think digging yourself out of the 50 grand hole, like what was the hardest leap for you, or what step on the staircase was the most difficult?
Yeah, so I started painting garage doors in 2005, but I was bartending. I had a landscaping company. I was flipping cars. I was doing a lot of stuff. And then 2007, me and my roommate, one of my best friends, started a business, but we didn't really, like, I was doing other things. He was smoking weed. And 2010, I just kind of was fed up because I would do a lot of the work, and we're splitting all the money. And I just said, dude, I'd rather keep our relationship. You could have the business and take the debt, or I'll take the business. And at the time, I thought it was 50,000. It was really about 250,000, because we ended up getting sued, and his account got levied in 2013, and I paid all that. Plus, I gave him a nice check on the last deal. But still, great guy. Still best of friends with him. He's in Montana. But look, I didn't have trust. There were people stealing from us. We had about 4 1099s and 4 employees. And so I called mom, and I said, I'm going to need some help, mom. I mean, that's the only person I could call. It's the only person I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt would be there for me. I love my dad. He'll be there for me too. But my mom will be like, dude, she'll jump on the phone. She'll do whatever it takes. So mom moved out to Arizona 2010, and I decided, mom, I'll run this business. Bill will do the payroll. My stepdad, he'll help me with some stuff with door sales. You'll answer phones and do the dispatch. I'll run all the calls, train all the guys, do all the marketing. But I want to get my master's degree. So I decided to do an 18-month program. I got my master's degree, and then I really started hunting. But, for me, the best secret I could tell you is I was obsessed with revenue. I was egotistical. I'd walk in a room and like $10 million revenue. I'm like, how much do you guys do? I didn't care about profit. And now that I'm where I'm at today, I was on this panel yesterday of everybody in HSF, and there's, I don't know, 100 people on there. And they said, how do you get the money to grow? I say, if you're not at 15% profit going in the bank account and paying yourself well, I mean, that's after you pay yourself a 1090, a W-2. So you might be making 150 grand. But you might have a company car and a gas card, then you're making 15% minimum, or you shrink the company and figure out how to get to that 15%. But if you're making $5 million at 15%, you got $750,000 that next year to grow. Not to mention the monthly coming in every week, every month. But a lot of people just get in this trap of like, I'm growing, I need to borrow money, I need to do more. But their business is broken. And the way that it's broken is the marketing needs to drive calls or form fills. And you need to book, you need to beg the customer. Listen, Qasim, I want to earn your business, man. What's it going to take? I am hungry. Like, I want to come show you what kind of garage door. I want to be your garage door company for life. Like, every CSR needs to be like, we need to book that call. And then you need to convert that call. I knock on your door. I need to earn your business. So we got an 8-step process. I'm going to offer you coffee on the way. I'm going to play with your dog. I'm going to show you that I'm a good person and I love what I do. And then I need to build the ticket. So if you're not giving options to your clients, you're giving them ultimatums to either say yes or no. So you might say, look, Tommy, that's more than I wanted to spend today. I say, no problem, Qasim. Let's just pick something else that fits into your budget. And that's how we do it. And so I got to earn your business. And then I got to look simply at how do I drive more gasoline into the leads? Because once I know the expected outcome of I booked the call, I converted the call, I know the average ticket, now I got to pour fuel in the tank, and I just need more leads. So we generate 34,000 leads a month. We're in 25,000 homes a month. 25,000. I got 42 guys here, 60 next month, 90 the month after, starting from scratch. Brand new technicians that never done it before. Then I got to have the van show up at the right time, the iPad show up at the right time, their uniform show up at the right time. I got to have apartments to stay at here. And then I need to get those vehicles back into their market. And they're decked out, dude. They're all wrapped. They got a double wrap. They got all these internal things. They got the GPSs, the cameras in there. They got the chargers. So, like, to set all this up to get to this level. And what happened is in 2018, there was this company called The American Dream that came out. And they were shooting all documentary about great, successful American stories. And I go, where were you guys at last? And they go, you're going to laugh, at KFC. And I'm like, KFC, the chicken place? Like, yeah. And I go, what's so cool about them? They're like, they open up a new store every 11 hours. And I go, 11 hours? And all of a sudden it got me to dream bigger. I'm like, whoa, what kind of team? What would my org chart need to look like to open up a new market every 11 hours? And like, obviously that's the North Star, but like, man, what in the hell? You would need so many systems and SOPs and checklists and smart people and the right org chart and just be able to dial things in and make sure to motivate people with the right compensation programs and make sure to get referrals and all these things. So I made this list and I just started thinking like, that's possible. And I think that so many people, they don't dream big enough. They're like, man, what can you imagine if we did 5 million? Now I'm like, can you imagine if I get this company to 5 billion of EBITDA? And they're like, well, how do you even do that? And I'm like, because it gets easier. I mean, once the systems, I don't go, what's wrong with the person? I say, what's wrong with the system? What's broken in the system? Something's wrong with the system. So we're system architects. And as those systems start to refine, it's like this flywheel that gets faster and faster and faster. And then you get the right people on the FP&A, the financial planning and analytics. And all of a sudden I'm buying more than anybody. I'm going to spend 70 million this year in just garage doors. So if somebody buys 1,000 garage doors, they're going to get a better price from me as a consumer. So if you don't think my vendors take care of me, and then if I could vertically integrate and then potentially horizontally integrate, I'm bringing a bazooka to a knife fight. How does anybody compete? And truly in my mind, I say, look, I want all my competitors to do good. I train my competitors. They come in here. I show them everything. I want to elevate the industry. But I'm like, at this level, where we're at with AI and Google and the way we accumulate leads. I mean, I had Angie, the CEO, Jeff, at my house last week having dinner. He wants to give us the leads. I'm flying out to Atlanta. Home Depot wants to work with us because we know technology. We train our guys. We don't hire felons. We show up when we say we will, and they care about the customer experience. And that's where we win at. And we're not the most expensive. We're not the cheapest, but we could be the cheapest. We could be the most expensive because we give options.
Oh, this is a freaking masterclass, man. I've got some questions. Can I rapid fire you?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Jade asks, how do you hire A players to delegate to and remove yourself as the bottleneck?
So I say there's 4 things. What I buy from you, what my grandma buy from you, what I work for you, and what I go have a beer with you. And typically, if you're going to hire, there's certain things like you got to read rocket fuel, right? So you got to understand most visionaries need an integrator. I just had Mark Winters on the podcast. He wrote a new book called Visionary. If you're truly a visionary, you need to find the right integrator. Walt Disney had Roy. Steve Jobs had Wozniak. Like, you could look at every single major business and you only need one perfect integrator at the top that's going to make all your dreams systematized down to the bottom. I have Luke right now, and I got a great CFO. So we're like a really strong team. And when I go to find another sponsor, they're not buying the business, they're buying the team that makes all this possible. There's 1,200 of us now, and I got amazing coworkers. So that's the way I do it. And I'd say, listen, I don't settle. Most of the time I'll hire a high level position and I'll say, this is a 6-month trial. You're a 1099. You're a consultant. I'm going to pay you more. And then I'm going to give you an offer. It's going to have equity tied to it because I want you to have a stake in the outcome. It's going to vest over 5 years through time and performance. And if I love you, before that, I'll give you an offer. If I don't, or you don't love me, let's go our separate directions. I know we're speed rounding, so.
No, I love that a lot. Wayne asks, basically, he goes, are all of your inbound leads and calls driven by the 2 kebabs? I don't know if you know this, Tommy, but Efe and Yusuf are on this call. They're the ones that run your paid media. And we're affectionately calling them the 2 kebabs. So where are you spending for traffic? Is it, what's the Meta, Google, traditional media distribution look like?
And in-house versus third parties is what I was asking too.
Yeah, look,
who's running the traffic?
So I've got about an in-house team of 15 people that work with agencies. Like our LSA, they have 4,000 LSA accounts. So if something happens to our local service ads account, which is Google Guarantee, they pop it right back up. They're the best. I got 2 different companies that work on the GBP, right? I got another company that does all my media buys. I got another social media team, which is getting great. Thank you, guys. I've got another team that does all my mailers. I find specialists, and then I got the team that hold them accountable. I'm on every monthly meeting with every single vendor. The social media one I'm not on yet until once we get to $1 million spend. We're looking for right now. The ROAS is about the comm is about 14%. And now I'm just asking my team, how do we spend more? How do we spend more? How do we spend more? Because I'm looking for bigger levers. I don't care if I could bring $200,000 in. Like, I need levers that I can actually pull and really spend money. And right now, the biggest expense, and this is right up your alley, Costum, is PPC. And that's the most expensive. But a lot of that is non-branded. So it works out because
Yeah.
the GMB pulls down, it's a few percent, and PPC might be at 20%. So the blended, and we pay the most, we get the best net promoter score, we got the most reviews in the industry. Here's what's crazy. We spend the most in marketing and we've got the highest bottom line by far. Like a good company will be at 15%. We're nearly double that because of our
Wow.
efficiencies.
Clinton has a beautiful question. He says, you had to have left parts of the old Tommy behind at some point. Are there any parts of him that you miss or would reclaim given the opportunity?
Well, I always miss the days where I didn't have a worry. Like I lived at the apartment. I didn't have a chef or a driver that I have today. I started working with Dan Martell and he was like, dude, you better get serious about getting help. He's like, you drive 12 hours a week. You're eating like shit. Why don't you hire a chef? And I'm like, dude, I don't need a chef. Like, I'm just a modest mouse. He goes, well, if you're ordering Uber Eats every day, you're ordering fast food. He goes, you think that's conducive to your health? He goes, dude, you're looking out of the wrong lens. But I do miss the days when everything, I'll tell you, we're talking about Citizen Kane, 1941. And he said Rosebud, his last word when he died. And that was on his sled when he was about 6 years old before his uncle took him away with all this money, is when there was nothing to worry about. You just had the world to look forward to. It wasn't a worry. There was no bills. It was like you lived at your parents' house. But for me, I always say the hustler had to die for the leader to be born. I used to hustle, man. I grinded. I could multitask. I did all this stuff. And now I'm like a racehorse wear blinders, man. I don't know. I think everything's happened for a reason. I don't know if there's anything I'd want back except, I actually can't think of anything. I'm 43. I feel like I'm getting older, but I still feel young. Like it's this weird age. I can't say there's anything of the old Tommy because I've got more confident in myself. I stare people in the eyes more than I ever have. I feel more comfortable on a stage. And I'm still just as curious as I've ever been. In fact, the more I grow, the more curious I get. I will say, like, I haven't made as much time for God as I'd like. I think I need to triple down on that. But yeah, it's not a character flaw. It's not like I just texting Travis Hearn with Impact Church. It's a priority.
Tommy, we've got 2 minutes left of your time. I want to be respectful of your schedule.
Yeah, we can
and
go.
your
We can go a few
constraints.
minutes later because it's fine. I got to go
Well,
for this content shoot, but
I want to turn the table on you. I've got a group of people on this call that are wicked smart, like some true thought leaders with some real connections, and trailblazers. Is there something we can do for you? Is there a give? Is there a constraint? Is there a block? Is there, like, if we were to love on Tommy Mello and pay you back for your time today, what's a needle mover for you?
I bucket it into family and friends, faith, finance, fitness, future self, and fun. And I'm not perfect in all those buckets, but I'm very interested in anything super cool, man. Like I try to really learn about a lot of stuff that opens up my mind. So if anything, like I've always said, your network is your net worth, right? Like introductions of just people that are thought leaders that just get me to think outside the box, get out of my little equilibrium that I live in. I'm always interested in hearing new ideas. And what's crazy is I could go to a gas station and like watch the way the lady like sell Snickers bars, and somehow I'll pick something up of like that applies to my business. Like I'm always looking and I'm like, whoa. Like I was at this going to Orlando to Tampa, and we went into this really bad neighborhood, and there was about 40 people. They all looked homeless, and they were playing the lottery. And I remember thinking to myself, man, these people have nothing. And I always tell this story to the people that I do orientation, and I'm like, they're waiting to hit the lottery of this good fortune. But if they just went and got a job, like you guys have a career now. Welcome to the first day of your last career. And I go, it takes 50 interviews to find you. You came to the right place. You're here. I'm going to take care of you, but you got to love yourself. I don't have anything to ask. I mean, I like to get to know, I know you, Casa, but I like hanging out with great people that see the world like I see. And they want to give back more than they received. I was with Robert Chadini, like I said, and I said, what do you think the best characteristic is? He goes, that you gave back more. You literally sacrificed more. and you gave back more than you asked for. And that's really what I'd like to be known for, is a man of humility. Never thought his shit doesn't stink. Never treated people any differently. I was a dishwasher. I was a busboy. I mowed lawns and I'm allergic to grass. So like, dude, I'm up for anything, man. Like I'll never change who I am in my heart. Like I make time for people, but you always got to remember, Custom, when you're making time for people that like, I like forums like this, but a lot of people reach out to me privately. Like, can I get 15 minutes? I'm stealing that from my mom and dad. I'm also stealing that from my fiance. And if you're taking these one-off meetings, you're stealing that from your kids. You're stealing that from Saeed. You're stealing that from Sam. You know, that's an important thing to remember, because we always try to pay it forward, but if we're giving people time, we're taking it from someone else.
I love that a lot. Jason, you had your hand up a moment ago. Do you want to unmute and ask your question? Y'all feel free to throw your hands up. Tommy, please protect yourself from us, okay? So when you got a jet.
No, I'll give you guys
at a
10 more
time.
minutes, and then we're good.
Love it.
Cool.
I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm in the middle of reading Elevate right now. Loving it. I love the distinction. The question I'm asking is if you've got really kind of cutting edge new ways of finding labor, finding peeps, because I know once you have them, you've done such a great job incentivizing them. But it seems like that's the bottleneck in so many home services companies right now. Are you finding new creative ways to find these folks?
So I've always said 50% of my marketing braids got to be applied to recruiting. So how do you do that? You got to get involved with the community. You got to be doing a lot of charity work. I mean, it's something that you should do, but the byproduct is amazing. There's a book called Branded Not Blanded. It's sitting right here. Is your brand, if it's done correctly, it'll attract the right people. And, you know, the social media that we do, but if you go to my Indeed and Glassdoor, you won't see another company like it. Like, it's very strong, because great employees leave great reviews, just like great clients leave great reviews on Yelp and Google. Where do you think a referral goes? So right now we get $5,000 if a referral comes in from one of our employees. 5. I'm going to move that to 10 in Q3. So that's how great a great person is to me, because these guys are multi-million. You know, I got guys that'll produce $1 to $2 million. I got guys that are producing 400,000. So I would say that we spend a lot of time, energy, and money recruiting the right people. And I don't hire out of necessity. I hire because it's the right fit. And we're just very, very good. I met this gal named Sophie. She's on our team. She's a pistol. She's from Canada. She's amazing. And she used to work at Carvana and Apple. And she's like, Tommy, she goes, instead of recruiting people that are great with their hands, she goes, what if we just went after hospitality and taught them to trade? And we got the training center. We can handle 100 people a month, and we get more warranty calls. But guess what? After a few months, they get good at the trade, but they're great people. They tell a great story. They make eye contact. They're excited about life. You take somebody good at the trades that doesn't have a personality, they're always going to be negative Nancy, prima donnas, never smile, doesn't want to show up to a meeting. So we started hiring great humans that are just excited about life and teach them the trade, and that's the best advice. It opens up the pool to a lot more. Every time I'm at a restaurant and a guy fills up my water 3 times, I'm like, what do you do? Do you like that? Do you know where you work? I mean, I'm recruiting all the time. I got a haircut the other day. I'm trying to recruit the gal into the call center. I mean, always be recruiting is what I say.
I love that. Jason, you got your hand up. Jacob, you're on deck.
Thanks for your time today, Tommy. When you're talking about recruiting, are you familiar with Skill Bridge with the military?
Yeah, I'm very familiar.
Okay. It just got me to thinking when you were talking about the avatar of somebody that may be a good fit for your organization. So I didn't know if that was something you considered. That may be an easy transition for somebody coming off.
I've been working with Sophie on that. Bree's father-in-law, or not father-in-law, stepdad is a Navy chief. So he's been helping us kind of dial that in. But yeah, I love the idea, especially for installers. Obviously, they're good drivers, good background check, no drugs. You know, there's some things that you kind of got to work through, but I'm all about it. And there's so many great reasons. I'm a true patriot. I mean, like, dude, I am so proud to be in this country. I travel a lot, and I'm just so, like, I have a lot of pride in this country, unlike a lot of people that, like, dude, Trump or Biden or Clinton, I don't care. They're just the president. I don't know what the government, like, I just love the people. I love to get back into this country, and I care a lot about our military, what they do with the sacrifice they make. If I could get involved at the next level and you got any ideas, I'm 110%. I'm so excited to be an American, and I'm so proud. And I'm just glad that God chose to raise me in this country and let me get born here. And just so many things that I owe this country, and I'm going to continue to pay it back. Like I can't stand being on social media because so many assholes are just not happy about that. I'm like, move out then. If you hate it that bad and you hate everybody and you just got all these bad things to say, like so many people have fought for us to be here. And I was just in DC a couple weeks ago, and it's like you go to Arlington, it's like, dude, like wake up. Like a lot of people have sacrificed everything to make us have this life. So I appreciate that.
Jacob, you're up. Yusuf, you're on deck.
Yeah, hey Tommy. I've read your book a couple times. The last time I read it was last year. My brother started a business doing biological lawn care, and he's been doing that for 16 months. And he's approaching. He asked me not to share like his private details, but he's growing really fast, and I want to see him grow and continue to grow. But if I was to ask a question to help him, because I want to see him win really bad, is how do you, as you grow, he's got one employee. How do you manage your time better? Because he seems like he's really stressing out, and he seems like he's like you. He wants to do everything, like he's a doer. But and it sounds like a minute ago you said like you've gotten better at delegating. Is that like the first thing that helps you get past that? 'Cause I'm sure you've gone through that as well.
Yeah, time management, dude. If you take your calendar and you're really good at putting stuff on your calendar and you run it through Claude, it'll tell you where you're actually being productive as a founder versus not. My COO just did it. 48% of his time is doing COO stuff, 52% is doing stupid shit. So we're redoing the org chart and babysitting and meetings and whatnot. So you got to build efficiencies, and you got to either eliminate, automate, or delegate in that order. And elimination of things that aren't productive is the hardest part. And literally, like, getting a great bookkeeper and knowing your financial status at all times is the hardest thing for an entrepreneur. They like to just figure it out themselves and have a QuickBooks that gets back to them every, this shitty little bookkeeper. Like, if you get the right fractional CFO working with all these things that you have now, the Trump administration get accelerated appreciation. When you buy a truck, man, so many cool things right now for business owners that you need somebody in the know. And I'll tell you, I got the best CFO of mankind. Like, I really appreciate who he is. And he was able to, we did our own Doge program. He found $2 million last year. So you get the financial side dialed in because most entrepreneurs in the home service space miss that.
Yusuf.
All right, Tommy, thank you for your time, and I really appreciate everything you said. I have a weird question. Before you came in, I was talking to Kasim about how we got introduced with you, and I don't know if you remember this, but you were in your bedroom putting on socks, and you were getting in your van, and I told Kasim, I'm in this call because I want to get to know this person. Like, we're talking about you who's hugely successful, but unlike these people who most of them made it, who's not, excuse my French, but not high on his own farts. Like that humility keyword you said, it struck a chord with me. And before you also came in, Carson tried to get us to introduce ourselves. We've been killing it for you. The goal was when we came in was 3x. We gave like 7 or 8. Now, when we go down to below 5, we're panicking because we've been that good. But when I'm introducing myself, I'm so like humble. I suck at introducing myself, but I don't also become these vapid a-holes. So how do I strike a balance just like you? Like, I want to talk about my achievements, but don't come off as like selling vapid bullshit.
Yeah, well, listen, you know what's free is a smile. And babies, I don't care who you are, they're attracted to a smile. People love to hear their own name. So using people's names, getting good at telling a story. So when you're telling a story, just say, listen, I'm probably the least smart person in here. And just talk about the struggles, and like things have gotten better, but people like the story. They'll fall in love with the story. And if you can make fun of yourself, I always do that. I'm like, look, guys, obviously I could sniff out a lie. I got the biggest nose in here. I'm Italian. Like, if you could make fun of yourself when you're talking to people, that makes you seem like a human being, and you could laugh at yourself and you're smiling and you're telling a great story. And when I'm telling a story, it's like I'm telling a joke. I'm like, and then this guy comes in, right? And he comes walking through the front door. He didn't even care. But if you could get the story going, some people are like, dude, how is your last name Mello? You're the least thing from Mello. But they're like, dude, I'm addicted to your energy. I just had a guy that's worth He's doing 260 billion or 260 million. He's worth about 6 billion. And he goes, just being around you for a day, he's like, you reminded me where I started and how much fun it is to this business. He goes, you gave me like this second wind. And by the way, if you don't like me, I'm okay with that. Because literally some people are like, dude, I can't work for a guy like you. I like to work 9 to 5. I like a corporate environment. I don't work on the weekends. Great. Great. Because I don't work like that. And by the way, you're going to be super successful, but that's just not who I am. So that's what I do. I get good at storytelling, get good at eye contact, and practice it. Just go up to strangers at Walmart. Who cares? I'm going to have the guys like we've already done this once. I'm going to have them do it again. Just go up to a grocery store and go introduce yourself and say, listen, I'm a garage door guy. I'm new. We're going out kind of just having fun. I want to tell you a little bit about the company. I want to hear about you. And if I could come just give you a free tune up, get comfortable, practice. And then if you flex that muscle enough, you'll get great at it. But I walk in, I got to get going here. Ashley's right here. I'll tell you this. I got invited to a Goldman Sachs event. And I got to meet the CEO of Goldman Sachs. And everybody there had a SaaS product or was working on like solving cancer. One guy was trying to solve for pain. The Poppy people that sold Poppy were there. And I called my guy Joe and I'm like, why am I here? Like, I'm a garage door guy. I'm blue collar. He goes, you're the only one with cash in the bank. He goes, all those guys they got paper, they got money, on paper, but they don't have any cash. And he goes, you're the only real one there. And I kind of had this weird, I don't ever have imposter syndrome, but I'm like, dude, I don't know why I'm here. But all of a sudden, man, I felt good. I was like, guys, I'm a garage door guy. 40% of your curb appeal is the garage door. It's the smile of your home. It's 268% return on investment. I did this in garage doors, not really innovative. I'm not 0 to 1 Peter Thiel. I didn't build we're a lot different than most companies, but you got to be comfortable and uncompromising. Like, this is who I am. And that's okay. And I don't compare myself to anybody. I literally don't play that game because that's like, comparison is the thief of all joy. So I would say this, if you live your life in comparison, you're never going to be happy. I just go, listen, I better my best every day. I'm the best I've ever been. No. I always say this. I'm the best I've ever been, but the worst I'll ever be, because tomorrow I'm going to be a little bit better. And I think that's important. So just continue to better your best every day. Learn, take time for yourself. Remember this. If you guys could do me one thing and promise me you'll do this, put up your hand and say promise.
Promise.
Okay, think about somebody you haven't texted in at least a month. Could be a friend, could be a family member. Hopefully it's not your wife or husband. And just take your phone real quick and take out your cell phone and just find that person. I'm sure you got them in your head and say, I've really been thinking about you and I just want to let you know how special you are. And every time I think about you, it makes me smile. Just wanted to let you know. And some of you will do it, some of you won't do it, but I want you to feel how good that feels when they respond. And hopefully you get addicted to it and you make time and you put it on your calendar to do that. One of my guys carries 10 pennies in his left pocket. Every time he gives somebody a compliment, he moves the pennies over. Those 10 pennies get shifted every single day. So tell people how much you love them, tell how much you care about them. And tell them how much you appreciate them. When you could do that tenfold, you're going to be so much better off in life. You're going to walk around with a smile. But listen, guys, I'll do this again, Qasim, anytime you want. You got a great group there. I mean, I'll even do it in person, but I appreciate the opportunity, guys. Don't worry about AI. Don't worry about doom and gloom. Whatever you think will happen, so think that it's going to be great. Think your life is going to be better. Like, what if I told you you get to build your own reality? So figure out what you want. And enjoy the journey. Live for today. Enjoy the process. This goal of where you want to go, the goalpost is nothing if you don't enjoy getting there. So have fun with it. And Qasim, as always, I appreciate you, brother. You're the man.
I love you, brother. Thanks for being here. Will you tell
Love you
Ashley
too, brother.
thank you too, Ashley? I appreciate you brokering all this and putting up with my emails. You're awesome, man. Have fun on your media.
All right, brother. You guys take it
All
easy.
right.
Thank you.
Bye,
See ya.
buddy. Holy shit, y'all. How's that for a freaking masterclass?
Yo,
Right?
like just dope. Like,
Yeah. That was, as far as interviews go, I've done a lot of that, especially working at perpetual traffic, and you never know what to expect. Some people come in and kind of give you the sound bites, and some people just come in and freaking, lay down the law. That felt inspiring. Shout out to Jacob, dude. Jacob, you're the reason he came. Thanks for asking.
I
Great
sent that
job
clip
there.
to I sent that clip to my brother because, like I said, I was really getting on his nerves because when he started last year, I want to see him win so bad. Like this is my little brother, and he's got two kids now. He's got twins on the way. He's a hard working. We've been tight since we were like 5 years old, and I just want to see him win like really bad. And so I got his book because I saw him on like a podcast or something like that, and I got his book, and then I read it, and I'm like, man, this is really good. And so I started getting on his case because he started doing this, and he has no idea what he's doing. And I'm not really good at it either, so I'm just like I'll see if I can help. And I'm good at the computer stuff. I'm good at thinking, and so I read it like 3 times because I was just trying to understand it. And I'm like, Tommy Mello says, Tommy Mello says, Tommy Mello,
Yeah,
and he's like, would you shut the hell up about this Tommy Mello guy? I'm tired of it. And so I sent that video to him, and he's just like, okay, it's come full circle. So it's kind of interesting.
it's super interesting. But I love how transparent he was. I knew A1 was worth billions. But I also know he took a bunch of money. So I assumed he was at this point a minority shareholder, which is in the world that I've been exposed to. Most of my buddies that get to that size, they own 5, 10, 20 max. He owns half of a $2.2 billion company. That's amazing. Good. I mean, that's shit, man. That's amazing. Good for him. Uh, I had no idea. That the couple of unlocks for me, I'd love to hear about y'all's, but that whole just dream bigger thing, you hear that all the time, and it's plastered all over Instagram. And it really felt more poignant coming from him. He's like, I'm at 2.2 billion and I own 2% of the market. It's like, oh wow, yeah, that really puts a lot of things in perspective. I think about a lot of what I do, and so much of my stopping power is just my own ceiling. I just decide like, oh, let me stop here for no other reason than let me stop here. Other takeaways? What did y'all walk away with? Clinton?
Uh, the question that he answered, where he doesn't miss his old life or he didn't have any regrets about leaving his old self behind.
Yeah.
Like that insight that his new life is so much better than it was before, that he doesn't miss anything. That really hit home. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I liked that answer too. That was a tough question, dude. Like you
Yeah.
teed that up really, really well. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah. But he gives himself permission to succeed. So that was great.
Yeah, that came across. Yusuf's point about him being humble is, I think, well founded, and he had a confidence that didn't feel douchey at all. It just felt like I believe in me. Like I believe in me, and I'm going to make this happen, regardless of hell or high water, and slap a smile on your face and do the job. I like what Dylan just posted here. His, I've been doing this 20 years, and the first 10 were practice. That was really beautiful too. Jacob.
I think what meant the most to me, what I heard, and he didn't directly say it, but he said it through his story and what I've read in his book, is that like he's this guy who just is never going to stop. He's just always trying, 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 trying. And I think through necessity of just always struggling, he probably figured out how to adapt from being just a doer himself and then to hire and delegate other people. And I think that's very hard because a lot of people struggle with that. It's hard to change. Like you want to have all the control, and it's hard to let that go to somebody else. So hearing that
Mm,
from him was really neat, and then also hearing the God thing too, because I think at his level, he's very used to measuring everything because everything's measurable, and God is not measurable, and so it's kind of challenge. It becomes a challenge, right? Because how do you measure? How do you measure that? And I've thought about that myself too as I get busier. It's like how do I measure that? Because you can't.
yeah, I liked the way he did that. I always feel a little smacked over the head by some folks who, it feels more like a virtue signal than anything. And for him, it was just him sharing who he is. Hold on, is that the Gregory J. Smith? What are we doing here? Oh, how do I get graced by two Titans on one call? This is nuts.
I'm late. Sorry.
No, can I tell you who you just missed?
I know who I just missed. I was trying to get on. I've been tied up with clients until like right now. Sorry I missed him.
Oh man, we learned, dude. I had no idea, Gio. He's that business. His valuation right now is at 2.2 billion. He still owns more than half.
Yeah.
He's just crushing life. And he's like, I only have 2% of the market share. He's he thinks he can get to 5-10 billion EBIT. Uh awesome conversation, man. It was every couple of seconds. You guys, I'm so excited to introduce you to my best friend, my business mentor of 22 years now. I met him when I was 19 years old. He's bought and sold 40 some odd banks. He bought and sold Sun Country Airlines twice. He's bought and sold plastic companies, built one of the largest fleets in the automotive world. And he's just an all-around good human being, good father, good grandfather. Greg Smith's on this call, best-selling author, amazing human being. And he's going to come and he's going to be our guest on April 22nd, Gigi. So thanks for volunteering your time. And thanks
Yeah.
for being here now, man.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, this is the council, by the way. This is the group of humans that show up on a semi-regular basis, and we just talk about how we're going to survive the post-AI world.
Yeah. Grateful to meet you. I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. How did I do with your intro? What did I leave out? There's a bunch of shit.
You're very gracious as always. Thank you so much.
Love you, man. I'm glad you're here. Sorry you missed Tommy.
Yeah, I love you too. I'll listen to the replay.
Yeah, I'll make sure you get the good version. Wayne, you've got your hand up?
Yeah. I'm done with my coughing fit. Two things. I dropped a book just as far as scaling up. It's something I've struggled with in my career. Also, partly because I've just never been good at it. I like to have my hands on the wheel, which is a fault. It's something I'm always kind of working on, but also because I had a lot of leverage with paid media, so I didn't necessarily have to. I could be the one or small team behind the computer and get massive leverage. But I think the world is changing in that regard. And even if you can get that leverage, doesn't mean you should. So two books that really helped me, and this is mostly speaking to Jacob, is the Dan Martell book, Buy Back Your Time. That was very helpful. And then obviously you want to hire people. So your book, Cassim, which I'm not finished with. So I'm recommending something I haven't completely finished, but I'm halfway through. And it's a phenomenal book also. So hopefully that helps Jacob, but anybody else that deals with that. And then the biggest takeaway I personally had was, especially in our local chain and service business, is how he hires for attitude. And I've heard this before, right? But like he's lived it, obviously, and his authenticity, the way he says it, and the way you can tell it's true, and this is really his principles, is he hires for everything but doing the job, for the qualifications to do the job. He's hiring for the attitude. He's hiring for the smile. And always recruiting. That was a big takeaway.
He might have even said, it didn't come out this way, but you could interpret it as hire the generalist because the specialty is easy to train. Not to push my own agenda too hard, but it sure feels like all the smartest people in the world are starting to align with that narrative. Just so y'all know, Greg has a best-selling book called No Locked Doors. I just dropped a link to that. And Wayne, thanks for shouting out my book. I just gifted y'all with my book. You get my book, my ebook, all the templates, a global job hiring board that has every job posting board broken down by category and geography, all free, ungated. Please keep that link just between us. I have to go here in a minute because I have Mardi Gras day at Driven, and I have to go babysit a bunch of misfit millionaires. But Elliot, you've got your hand up, and then maybe we'll wrap up and we'll jump ship.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Cassim. Thanks for getting him on. It was incredibly interesting to hear his perspective on the myriad of topics we got to, and I think this is definitely one everyone should rewatch. That was pretty dense. I was really, really
Dude, the
happy
value per minute there was really like impressive. I mean, the guy, he spouts it. He was awesome.
But what I wanted to touch on was actually one thing that I found incredibly interesting is that when he was asked about what he's prioritizing, it's something that we can probably all do a bit more of if we're, a lot less busy than somebody who's trying to scale, into 5 or 10% of a market share. But that's how much he appreciated that moment of time with his family, and what he emphasized we should all do as well, is reach out to people that we maybe don't put the time in the calendar for. And I really found that super interesting that was obviously prominent in mind for him as well.
Yeah. I think about that a lot. I actually had a gentleman who joined the council who reached out to me on our WhatsApp group and said, "Hey, can I get some time with you?" Basically. And I did my best to respond with as much grace as I could. And I said something like, dude, I have a heart to serve. I'm rooting for you. And, I want contribution at scale. And I think about that a lot. It's like, man, I want to give back. I want to love on people. I want to do the right thing. And I can't do one-on-ones. I get 20 some odd pick your brain requests a day. Private messages are hard enough. And so it's like, how do you give as much as you can give, but do it in a way where the blast radius is as expansive as the blast radius can be? And I still don't know the answer to that. I'd love y'all's input on it. And it's funny because as I'm saying this, my business mentor is on this call. You know what I mean? Like I was 19 years old and Greg was taking, and I wasn't the only one, by the way. Greg used to adopt kids that worked with, I remember like it was like little baby ducklings following a mother duck. And he'd take us out to dinner and we go to the pub. And he always found these really like beautiful ways of coaching and mentoring without doing it, without coaching and mentoring. So there needs to be a space for that, I think. But it is hard because it's so time intensive, and I don't know where the balance is. Jason, you got your hand up?
One, I want to say thank you, Greg. And I'm not saying this to like curry favor. Thank you for pouring in a costume at 19 because we are all benefiting here today because of the seed that you planted and the fruit that he is producing. And to extend off of that costume, you're already doing it. Just know and believe that there are those of us who watch you, listen to you, participate with you. We are taking your message out. You may not always hear it, you may not always see it, but I promise you the wind is carrying your message.
I appreciate you, brother. Y'all, the thing, Greg, when he met, I was ghetto AF. Like I was a little wannabe thuggish
Newport
hood kid. Yeah, dude. Whatever Greg saw in me, Greg, I question your decision-making skills, to be honest with you. I just wonder, I'm like, maybe it was just like, oh, this is the biggest challenge I've ever seen. I think I'm going to take this challenge and accept it. But yeah, man, the amount of investment he put into me was unreal. And he hates it when I bring it up and I embarrass him all the damn time, but it was really super meaningful.
Well,
It's the only
someone on
reason
this
I have
call
anything.
earlier said of the earlier speaker that much of his selection in hiring and recruiting, and I certainly wasn't hiring or recruiting anybody when I met Qasim, but what I did see was remarkable attitude. So let me leave it there. If you don't know the rest of his journey, I'm sure you can sign a non-disclosure agreement and hear all about it.
Yeah. Well, it's in the introduction of Greg's book, some of it. So if you go
Yeah.
buy Greg's book, I wrote the intro.
Truth
Yeah.
that his forward is probably better than my book, but the forward is interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Well, that's enough about me. Y'all, thank you so much for coming. This was unbelievable. I'd love to bring on more extraordinary guests. If you have other guests that you'd like to bring, please let me know. If I know them, I'll reach out to them. If you know them, let me know. Tee them up. If you're watching this live, you can always join the Zoom by going to dailysigh.ai. Join my free forever community. Get the Zoom link from the calendar. If you want these calls summarized and sent to your inbox, you can go to dailysigh.ai. You can get them daily and or weekly. To the council, please don't forget that we have a private WhatsApp group. If you're on the Zoom call, please join the private WhatsApp group. We have great conversations in there. And the thing that I'm most excited about is we are right now talking about what this looks like in terms of structure, the shape it begins to take, how we build things together, how we might turn this into an incubator. And so if you want to participate in that and guide the direction, I'd love your input. This is not a tyranny. I need help. I want help. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm figuring this out as I go. I go live every single day at 6 p.m. Eastern. So tune in wherever it is that you happen to be watching right now. Stay there if you want to. Hit me up on Messenger if you think there's something I can do better. But I'd love it if you came and joined the community. Reside here in the inner circle. It's absolutely free. There's never been a pitch. There's never been an offer. We're just trying to do good things and spread good words. And I think we're doing it, man. I really, really love this little community. Like somebody said, what was it? It was your vibe dictates your tribe. And I feel like we've got like a really good vibe, like everybody so far, there's not a lot of saber rattling or chest thumping or any of that garbage. It's just a bunch of people trying to bring epic value. So thank you all for being a part of that and being those people. Thank you for the diversity of opinions and thoughts and approaches. And I'll see you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you, Qasim. See you next week.
Thank you.
Qasim.
Love you, Joe.